the LA. Going through that. The reason why I couldn't get the side chain to work is because I didn't have the right lead. I'm looking at the pin. What's hot? I thought it was hot, cold, and screen. For the sheeping on the shaft part.
Right.
That screen sleeve. But really, it should have two black. I was pushing in a normal quarter inch, one black ring. It should have two. Well, not the fact, yeah, mono, but the thing is, it's send and return. The tips send, the tips return, and the ring is send. And I was pushing in, you know, I'm thinking, why is it not working? And I'm thinking, that's what they did wrong all these years ago. Looking at what the XLR is on +4 dBu. Pin 1 is screen, signal ground. Pin 2 is hot, plus VE.
Well, you see all of that, what you just said there, it just proves my point. Music is mindfuck, man.
Yeah.
It's maths, it's engineering,
Well, that's what he said,
it's pattern recognition. It goes into quantum mechanics, it goes into metaphysics.
It is, well, I'm looking at parallel compression.
Universal.
Parallel compression is a bit of a mind bender.
Yeah.
It's
you know, engineers build the world. And when you're building sound,
for unbalanced operation, join pins 1 and 3 on either input or output. Now that can confuse, that's for -10 dB, not dBu, dBV, even that. You don't look at these one letter out, you know, it's a difference between working and not working.
dB by voltage as opposed to
voltage
by resistance.
dBu, or by units.
Even by units even.
Tip, hot again, this time, not screen, not pin 1 screen, signal ground.
I just realised something about the music resistance.
Signal
that's kind of cool.
Rings cold now, where pin 3 is cold. Rings cold, signal minus, sleeve is screen, signal ground. On the XLR, pin 1 is signal ground. So I need to go to Macklin so you can get one of them leads made up, take this and say, can you make it up like that?
Well, isn't it that lead? Because when you think about it, all it is the signal pathways, right, will follow that pathway. So if in the particular instance of the module, the internal pin from where it's coming from, the sound source as it were, will be set up like that, where the tip, like you say, is the send.
Well, it's return on that.
Or return, or whatever it is.
Ring send.
Right.
And the sleeve is screen.
Yeah, so you don't need a different wire. The wiring will always send from A to B. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just like
it's where it's coming from, where it's going to. That's how it's
two-way. I was using a normal jack and it's one way, so it wouldn't return.
Right, that's why, because that particular signal needs to be isolated in a stereo module that is set up with that configuration.
That's why.
Well, sometimes it's like how some people will plug in a mono speaker into a stereo speaker output, and you'll still get sound out of it.
But it won't be
the pathways. Yeah, and therefore you won't get the split that was intended. That's all.
I need that lead because now I can reading this. I can go into parallel compression now and use one as a limiter and the other one as the actual compressor.
It's funny how at the beginning of the Back to the Future movie, he comes in the first scene is he gets a guitar amp and he blows it up.
Mass
by turning it up. Did you see that one?
Yeah, it was on stage, but this is what I'm penetrating.
Not even that one. That was another one. Well spotted. No, I mean right at the beginning, he's got that thing and he's got that dial, and written on the dial is something that's written on Dr. Strangelove. I think it's like CRM 50. It's like a module that doesn't really exist, but actually in reality it does exist. And what it is an algorithm for prohibiting, as it were, or censoring particular parts of information, which is very interesting. I mean, maybe music needs to be censored by some people. You know, like Google algorithm will say certain things are acceptable and other things are not acceptable based on a keyword. You know, so what was Doctor Strange stuff on, and more importantly what was Back to the Future on, to put that in the same film, relating to...
That's not what I'm talking about here though, you know, you're talking about different scenarios, you know.
Signal pathway, just symbolically.
Yeah, but I just want to get to the root of this, you know what I mean? What they did in there, they did it for their reasons, you know, this is a totally different method.
Method to the same.
I don't know if it's the same, but it's what I need to understand.
Someone could take your idea and do it completely differently, and maybe to you, it was dealt with wrongly, but to them it's right. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm saying the same music notes can exist in different combinations, the way we've put it together.
Going off the path now, like what we were saying when it was a kind of straight, and it's the same thing, you have to rein that in. You know, the path that you're taking is where you rein it in, get back to parallel compression, how it's done and how to do it and what you're going to use it for. That's what I'm really interested in, two-stage. Use anytime you
Well, you're talking again about signal path flow, aren't you? You know about in series, with parallel, obviously it runs alongside.
Yeah, it does, but it's how to do that, and how it's worked out.
So it's a bit like keying.
In a way.
So you have a signal already being compressed. When it's got an additional signal alongside it,
Well, that's where the side chain. Oh, listen, that's where the side chain comes in, and this is where you have to know how to use it.
He had a great potential, and it still has. He just needs to work with others. That's all.
I just come to the conclusion years ago that he's just not a live player. So it's pointless with him. So maybe he removed himself because he was never going to tour it or do anything with it. It's just like a situation where he had time to get some tunes down. And then he found out the process and then he thought, right, and then afterthought, I can just do this myself and cut, you know, again, selfish, cut people out, do it on my own, don't need them. Well, that says to me, you're never going to link with anybody because you're not about that. You just like, it's all you and I'm keeping it for myself and, you know, I'll do what I want with it. Well, that's not going to really get you anywhere because you can't take that.
That's the other side of the spiritual journey. Quincy Jones says, leave all the egos at the door. For that reason, he's been in the game long enough to know it's come from spiritualism to something technological back to spiritualism.
Yeah, that's for live players. Recording really for live players. It's not. He's just some kind of guy who needs to stick to commercials, just make music for commercials.
Well, let's think about that for a minute. What is a live player? Is that someone who responds spiritually?
No, you just go out and play live.
Or they're just like mechanically doing something there.
You know, what you've made, you're presenting it live.
It has a totally different feel when you go live and you get an audience, you get feedback, you get their spirit involved in what you're doing.
Watching the artist live. If you don't play live, then the music's no good to you.
Yeah, well, it doesn't live. It's not alive.
There you go. So you've
It was born, but it has not received an education.
Yeah, answer your question. You're not a live player.
Doesn't it? The same tune, Bob Marley, to me, kind of mapped it out for people to see. He did the first version. It's alright.
All I'm saying is you're not a live player. It's actually making music or making commercials where you're not expected to go out and play live. It serves a point, purpose, it's done, end of story, you've been paid or whatever, move on to the next one.
This would be very good commercial music, wouldn't it? That, you know, for selling.
A lot of these could have sold commercially. As a single, this is a single, but no.
You've got to have patience. Like you said, if you're going to get to the point where the dust settles and you can listen to it, you know, open-mindedly.
I should have realised he's a bass player. He's not frontman.
But also, that's why companies have different people employed to do different jobs. Because you can't do all the jobs.
You can. People have and people do. And that's what, you know, the digital audio workstation, the door was for.
They kind of do it in a timely fashion when you make money from it.
Yeah, of course they
Making
can.
money, you got to have all the engines revving to go As soon as it's pressed and released, it's out in the shop being sold, simultaneously being advertised.
You need to be a live player to do that,
because they don't keep products in the shelf for too long. Shelf life costs
it only
money.
sells when you do a tour to back it up.
That's why you gotta be live.
Yeah, you're not a live player, then it's pointless you making music to sell commercially because they expect to see you live.
That's why bands need to come back. And what is the essence of bands but live playing? They start out live and then they think maybe we should record this.
He was the wrong person to work with in the first place. He was never going to do that.
Well, people grow.
If he was, he would have done it. He would have done that on a regular
Last 15 or more years in the studio. Gosh, is it that long? 15 years in the studio, Gary. For you it's even longer, about 20 off.
I've only had my studio for 15 years.
Longer than that. That particular studio was one before it.
No, I didn't have one before that. That's the only one.
Wow. So about the same time. You know, only just getting to the stage now where I can really see what it is I'm doing with sound. You know, before that, just playing about with it, playing around.
The best quality sound, and that means going for
professional gear. I know that can do it straight out of the box, no message.
Give you the sound that you want instead of working with something that you're gonna have to either boost or use twice to get anywhere near, and plus you'll never be like that because
that's why
quality
investment goes hand in hand with good music. If this town, which doesn't invest in the musicians and live players, is it any wonder that what it's been producing for a long time has been of great quality?
Understanding what parallel compression actually does is the key to understanding why there's the two stages of compression on the drums. I usually consider parallel compression a hack. Well, not really a hack. It's in response to specific engineering.
Parametric or parallel?
Parallel. You use a mask. Oh, it's like a mask, or poorly set drum bus compressor. They smash the parallel signal and blend it. Or blend it with. What is it with? You missed that with. Blend it, then compressed source. Blend it with the compressed source. Like the sound of the fast release. Boosting the quiet parts of the signal, making the drum decay and reverberates get louder very quickly. Closer volumes, initial body of the sound. The body of the sound is going to be exciting and explosive sounding, but it can be fatiguing. Exactly, and it often makes the cymbals flutter towards them. Don't like the sound.
I've had problems with that.
The volume fluctuates very quickly and the compressors.
Noticed it years later, I'm like, fucking hell, why didn't I put a limiter on that?
Before it or after it, making them sound extremely washy.
Well, the thing about putting it after it instead of on it is it's already gone through.
Yeah, but then the limiter's going to hold it.
It's kind of like you're doubling up the sound by doing it after. It needs to be in line with the signal.
What I'm saying is
the signal that's coming out.
Press a limiter in one box, not parallel. I'm talking because you buy them. Right, so you're going to compress and limit it.
But limit every channel.
Well, you put it on the out. I'm talking the output compressor, the output bus.
Maybe that's a good lesson for life. Limit every channel to get great music.
Well, you just, if you only have one unit, you'd have to put it on the output. So therefore, you couldn't compress it. You couldn't limit every track, could you? Unless you're going to put one on every single one. You need a load of them to stack them up. I mean, outboard is not talking plug-in where you have loads of them on every single, you know what I mean?
Well, it's slightly different with analog gear, isn't it? Because with analog, it will take those peaks and not necessarily turn into nasty artifacts. You get all these horrible artifacts with digital music, and that's why you have to limit everything. Because no matter what, one of those frequencies is just going to peak. And if you compress, what you're doing is compressing the majority. If you don't have like something with EQ built in or sweepable EQ, you can't find that frequency that's offending and always gets through.
Musical but loud, compressive. You get away with this by relying on the compressive not to mask the bad compression. And that's why I see this particular approach as a hack. So that's why all this does is make the soft bars and the average volume louder without limiting the maximum volume of the compressed signal. That's why you put the limits on last. So then when he hits that, he knows if he's starting to pump or whatever it is, like he said, it's going to hit the limiter and he can't go anywhere. So it's going to pass through easy. Or smashing it. I mean, you got the bad compression wrong on the first one, and when it went to the second to parallel it out, all it did is the result is an unmusical but loud parallel compressed signal. Right. You can get away with this by relying on the uncompressed signal to mask the bad compression. That's wrong.
No.
And that's why I see the particular approach as a hack. I agree with that.
Because it's running in parallel, you've got two signals. One of them you're controlling one way, one you're controlling the other way, but it's almost like to no effect.
Well, that's what you just said there. To mask the bad compression. You're not supposed to pass through easy. So when it gets to the second parallel compressor, that's acting more, it's got less work to do. It's acting more like, I'll hold it there. It's like a security guard just holding it so it can't go anywhere.
Limited.
Well, that's what it's going to do without it being called a limiter.
Soft knee. That's what you need on something like that.
Aspect of power compression that two stages compression relies on. Alright, I see. A little math explains how that works. See sidebar.
Well, that's how those digital compressors work, by maths in it.
Yeah, but
you take the frequency signal.
It's just cold, like you're saying there.
Because it's just number crunching.
Well, then
you can't add any additional harmonics because all the harmonics are summed into one math.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying it's unmusical. That's why they're using the outboard, the Alvin, or even just an outboard that's dedicated. And that's some software chip. First thing after saturating your routing is to set compressor.
But also the other thing I'm looking at is frequency range.
So it's return and set the attack and release as if it's the only signal you're going to monitor in the mix. Don't just smash the signal, set it so that it sounds great on the white part of the song. Yeah. Don't worry if the compressor compresses too much and your drums get loud. When you hit the chorus.
See, when you do tunes like this, I think your front and back is alright.
Once you're happy with the set like the biceps, take that down off solo and then hit the uncompressed drums. This way, these two signals will take turns masking each other. Compressor one will have a narrower dynamic range and allow you to increase the volume with makeup gain. That will cause it to mask the uncompressed signal during the quiet sections. And we now have a great sound for our verses. I would do differently. I'm assuming you choose a slow attack or some punch and release that slow enough to keep the drums tight or fast enough to open up. So it's all about attack and release then. You have to open up for the next hit.
That's what I said, having a soft knee is basically the same as having a gradual attack on the frequencies that have been set to start limiting from.
Compressor one has raised the volume of the drums and alter the envelope through its attack and release. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that.
Don't know how you can have certain different music on, man.
There's now a small problem. When the big chorus hits, the compressor signal will hit its ceiling within the compressor. Now the bounce will change in favour of the uncompressed signal, which can get louder or mask our envelope by compressor one. It's getting complicated. The big loud set screwing up. He has punch and tight. Compressor 2 on bus B solves this problem.
Oh, win the lottery, 3333, everything's 3.
We're sending it some of the uncompressed drum channels the return from compressor 1. You can now set compressor 2 for some of the 2 drum signals during the loud chorus. Well, that's when we're making music with loud and quiet parts. What happens if it's straight through? it should be even easier. We have a proper envelope and then the amount of dynamic contrast in the verse that back compression artifacts. This movement gives us two stages of compression. Pressure control with 5 verses, pressure control with alcohols. For me, this type of influence resulting in compression artifacts is huge.
Effective circulation booster rather than just walking around a bit.
This is
fucking hell.
This is difficult, this. It's not as easy as you think. Sound of back compression. First what I call TV commercial snare sound, recognizable by its pillowy attack from an excessively fast attack time.